More than ever we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. So much of things that we need to see about. Surely I do have to spell them out.
Welcome again to this very important segment in the program where I will speak, laying the foundation for great reasoning. I want you to be able to analyze things. I want you to be able to have that higher level of consciousness. So when you speak, others will understand, others will learn from what you're saying. So there will be growth in the process. I want to encourage those on Facebook and YouTube to please share the live. Sharing is caring. And I want to dive straight into the conversation for this morning, because there are some people who represent organizations, represent a body of people or a group of people, and they believe that they're smart because you're the president of a union. You believe by going before a mic and a camera and say certain things, you're smarter than other people, right? But many a times when you sit and you listen and you analyze what is coming from the mouth of that individual or individuals, you then say, but wait, something is not adding up. Something doesn't make sense. So I will demonstrate that this morning. I think it is important for me to do so. You heard Brian Grimes on the news last night, the night before, and I think the night even before that. But last night, what was featured was the whole unbearable heat at the ministerial complex and Ministry of Education, and I think another ministry or department. So you had Brian Grimes speaking about this. But coming to the tail end of that news piece, the reporter said they reached out to the government, and the government told them to look at this release, a press release that was sent out to the general public, speaking to a contract being awarded to a local company to make sure that they get that AC problem fixed. But we don't produce these things here, the equipment and that kind of stuff, the units and so on. It has to be made outside, built outside, and when it comes into Grenada, they will assemble it and install it. But remember, this is a problem that existed before. This is nothing new. The NDC came into power, and as a responsible government, they have to fix it. We agree on that. In fact, they've started doing some repairs on the ministerial complex, the repainting and other things like that. All the rugs and all those stuff that were inside there, they're attempting to remove them because it's causing a lot of workers to be, nauseous or sinus issues and that kind of thing, asthma and so on. So they're doing tiles. I think they started at the top and they will continue until they get to the bottom. But everything takes time. Everything takes time, right? But here it is. Brian Grimes run before the press, spoke about this, but the release speaks to 4 months to assemble, to put this thing together, and then you ship it, right? You ship it to Grenada. So it will take some time to assemble it. And no, I think it says it will take 4 months to get it installed and set up. So a couple of months to get it built overseas, then it gets here, and then it will be installed and so on. So I want to believe that the union should know about this particular move by government, right? And the public knows because it was a release that was in circulation and the public had the opportunity to read and hear. It became news, in fact. But let me play for you aspect of that news piece last night, because I believe it's important to play that so you can hear for yourself. All right? So let me play that. Let me play that piece for you. Because, sometimes these guys believe that they're smarter than everybody else. And, listen to what Brian had to say and what the reporter had to say coming to the end.
Citizens, service to the general citizenry, right, throughout the country. So because of the fact that there is no AC, and the conditions are poor, workers are leaving at 2, some even at 12 based on pre-existing conditions, some may be asthmatic and so forth, right? And what happens as a result of that? Productivity suffers as a result of that.
The president said a letter was sent to the government expressing their concerns and inquiring about how soon the problem will be resolved.
We wrote, as an organization, a responsible organization, seeking the interests of our members on the 24th of May 2023 and July 5th about the deplorable conditions. Despite the fact that we wrote, they did not answer in a way that gave any time-sensitive commitment to fixing the problem. And this is the issue that we have. The poor communication with the authorities right now, in terms of the authorities not engaging in social dialogue on the many issues that we face.
The president said a letter was sent to the government expressing their concerns and inquiring about how soon the problem will be resolved. He said there's been no response to date. Roughly 200 public servants are affected by the present condition in the various buildings. In seeking a comment from government on the matter, the newsroom was directed to a press release issued on June 1st by government. It stated that a contract has been awarded to Cooling Tech Limited for $3.9 million to replace the air conditioning system at the ministerial complex and the Ministry of Education. The work will entail replacing all R22A systems on each floor, along with supplying and installing a variable refrigerant flow air conditioning system. The custom-built unit will be manufactured off-island and will require approximately 4 months to be completed. Thereafter, the unit will be shipped to Grenada and the installation process will commence in a phased approach. For GBN News,
Right. So you heard it there. I didn't make up that story. That came in the news. So a release was sent out in June. And in that release, the government said they have contracted Cooling Tech, this company, this local company, $3 million to get that AC fixed, to get the system set up. But what is there now is not working and cannot be used. So they have to remove all that and get a proper system in place. So it has to be built, the system has to be built outside of Grenada, we don't have the equipment, we don't have the stuff here. And it will take about 4 months or so to set up, to get that going. And then, you install it and you assemble it here and you install it. So that was a release that was sent out. The unions would know about that. The public knew about it. So why not give the government time to get that done instead of running before a mic and a camera because you want to be what? Seen, heard, relevant. What? I just don't understand. It scares me because here you have a friendly government in place, a worker-friendly government in power. They gave your workers pension and gratuity. They gave your workers the dock salaries back, the money that the NNP took from their salaries. They gave them back, even though the court ruled against the workers getting that money back. Because the court said if you ain't work, you ought not to be paid. Right? But the government still gave the money back. The government is now regularizing public workers. The government started paying workers their money twice per month, right? Twice per month. You only recently signed an agreement for 13% increase without going on the streets and protest and demonstrate and so on. You got 13% increase over a 3-year period with a whole pile of fringe benefits that you never got under NNP. But yet for all, every single time you look on the news, you see this idiot, if you ask me, this idiot talking rubbish many a times. And hear this, I say to people, the workers in the ministerial complex, the Ministry of Education and so on, they need that AC. We know. But it's not like the government not trying to fix it. They have gone on to sign a contract with a local company. It will take 4 months for this to be assembled outside of Grenada, to be built outside of Grenada for the ministerial complex, for the Ministry of Education and so on. Come on. And then shipped to Grenada. So you believe that this government can work magic overnight? I could see if they were not doing anything about it. I could see if they did not sign a contract with a company to do the work. And I could see if they did not send out a release informing the general public on the situation. And of course, the workers were first informed. They were first informed. The union knows. Come on. It's like they want to put something to the head of the government. Fix this now, fix that now, fix this now, fix that now. It comes across as, Emlyn Pear, when NDC won the election and she was speaking, fix this now, get that now, do that now, fix. Come on. Come on. That is why the union not getting any public support. That is why they are not getting any public support. So this guy believes that he's smart. A camera before him and a mic in front of him. So you have a camera and a mic. And he's quick to talk. But when you listen, and I want to applaud that reporter, because the reporter seek some clarity, some information from government. And they said, look, there was a release since June, sometime in June, which states that a contract for $3-something million was signed with Coolintech, a local company, right, to fix that problem. But they don't have the equipment and all that is required to fix the problem on island. This thing has to be built. It has to be built and then shipped to Grenada to be assembled. It will take months, 4 months or so, to build that thing and put that thing together. This is a complicated situation, but the government is fixing it. So why then run in the public? What, you want to be relevant? You want to be seen as doing something or saying something? Let's look at another situation where, to me, this guy is incompetent as president of that union. Only recently, the union met, negotiated for months with the government for the increase of 13% and the fringe benefits. I think it is one of the last union to sign this agreement. I think so, right? But here it is. They did not only get the 13% increase, but they got fringe benefits. So when I saw the news with the mental health workers, right? I said, okay, I believe they deserve all that they're asking for. To be made designated traveling officers, because as it stands now, they are not traveling officers. They can claim for their mileage, but they are not traveling officers. And that has been so for a lot of years, not just because NDC is in power. NNP was in power for 20-something years, and they did not make them traveling officers. They did not give them a cell phone, for that matter, with credit. So all that they're asking for, they were not getting it under the NNP. Well, except mileage. If they have a vehicle, they could claim for mileage. All right? So I heard this.
They called for government to address outstanding issues hindering workers from doing their full duty. The workers began mild industrial action on September 25th, wearing union T-shirts to protest what they claim to be scant courtesy given by the authorities in the Ministry of Health in response to their grievances. These issues include improper compensation, as they are not paid a traveling allowance despite doing over 700 miles of travel per month in their respective areas, lack of tools to fulfill their job requirements, unpaid claims, and understaffing. President of the Public Workers Union, Brian Grimes, says the Ministry of Health only paid 5 of the 10 mental health workers their mileage for 2 months in 2022, with a remaining 10 months payment outstanding.
Currently, as we speak, the workers are still on protest as regards some of the issues that they face. Yesterday, on the 9th of October, received correspondence from the PS in the Ministry of Health, and we found out that 5 of the 10 workers have received the mileage that they claim for in September, October of last year. So that is 50% of them.
He said the remaining 5 workers are yet to receive any payments and no indications were made as to when they will receive their money. He indicated that there are still other outstanding issues that need to be addressed.
The union, in responding to the permanent secretary in terms of that information, we confirmed with the workers, thanked the PS, but there are other issues. All of them are low-hanging fruit, in fact, but there are other issues in regarding to the classification of the worker, the tools, meaning the cell phones and so forth, so that they can do their much important duty to the nation in terms of serving the public, administering medicine and taking care of the mentally challenged and people with psychosis and so forth. Yes, we are doing all of that. But those other issues, apart from part payment of the mileage allowance, are still out there.
Grimes accused Health Minister Jonathan Lacrette of refusing to meet with the union, adding that he has not responded to the numerous requests for discussions on the matter. He said another appeal is being made.
So now we asked, apart from correspondence that we wrote, we asked that we get a hearing, a sit down with the Minister of Health, Honorable Jonathan Lacrette. To date, we have not got that. And we are confident that a social dialogue between the Minister of Health and the union will most likely bring an end to this impasse. And we are puzzled, the workers are puzzled, the union is very, very puzzled as to why there seems to be an avoidance to.
Right. So that's Brian Grimes, right? But this guy is putting the cart before the horse. You take these workers and you bring them out. So they're picketing, they're protesting, they're demonstrating. What they're demonstrating for? They're demonstrating for cell phone, for a cell phone to be assigned to them, paid by the government. Well, if Sheldon Scott, the money that he owes the state for a cell phone gate, if we get that, that would easily cover these 10 workers or so. And it will also cover all the expenses the government owes these workers for their mileage and so on. Most definitely. And you still have, you would have a lot more cash in hand to do a lot of work. But here it is. I am saying to you, these workers, right? They're asking the government to be made designated traveling officers. And look, I agree that they should be made designated traveling officers. But this don't just happen like that. It has to be included. It has to be budgeted for. So it has to be included in the budget of 2024. The ministry reached out to the union. The ministry reached out to the workers to say that the budget consultation and everything is taking place now, and we will include you as designated traveling officers. So they got that news, that correspondent, telling them that they will be made designated traveling officers. But besides that, the whole issue of cell phone, right? This basic stuff, they should have been negotiated for as a fringe benefit package for these workers. So Brian Grimes and his team failed these workers, and now they want to come in the public and look good. That is what happened, you know. Brian Grimes and his negotiating team, they refused, they failed these workers. They did not seek the interests of these workers while they were negotiating, if you ask me, because that should have been included in the package, in the fringe benefit package. Remember, Brian Grimes came on television and he was in high praise of the government for that, right? The fringe benefit package and so on, because they were not able to get it on the NNP. And you see, and that is what boggles me a bit, confuses me a bit. Why is it that this guy believes that the government should fix everything one time, give them everything they want one time? Why is it comes across that way? As though this government has to fix everything now and give them all that they want now. That is how it comes across. So here is this guy praising the government for a lot of stuff.
I want to get into the whole package. In my view, yes, we did not get all that we asked for, but I think this particular negotiating cycle, this particular period has been groundbreaking, right? The first thing in terms of big ticket items, I want to speak on it because it's important to celebrate our victories, small and large. This is the first fringe benefit agreement we would have had in over 10 years. That is very, very significant. I think both the employer and the unions and workers should be happy about this. Very, very importantly, and I know I was speaking to a contract worker up here, this package has in it a clause stating contract workers will get the increases, even fixed-term contract workers. This is monumental. This is groundbreaking. In the past, we have had very, very serious battles with the past administration in terms of members of our bargaining unit being left out in terms of their ability to secure increases. So having now enshrined in our agreement stating that contract workers will get it, it may have some
administrative hiccups in terms of, you have a little extra work to do, but I think it's worth it in terms of the justice and the equity across the public service. So this is tremendous as far as the union is concerned. Now, there are some other items here. Nurses have been clamoring for it for an extended period of time. Free medicine at the hospital, a la our friends in the police service. I'm not going to call it the police force, the police service, the Prime Minister. Yeah.
Yes, the police is here.
Yeah. So nurses and doctors will be able to get free medicine, right? And this is something, like I stated, they have been clamoring for years. So now it has become a reality. It has come to fruition. Very, very important, and this one is very dear to me, the ex gratia. Unestablished workers are going home at times with minuscule, sometimes embarrassingly low monthly payments after they would have retired. One something, whatever it is, 300 if some are lucky. But now, the Grenada Public Workers Union have negotiated with government, and government have agreed that the minimum unestablished workers will go home with, the bare minimum will be $500. It is a step in the right direction, right? Last but not least, I'm not going to speak about the uniform allowances and so forth. We have, should I?
No.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
All right, okay. Last but not least, very, 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 very important is the fact that this government has agreed to pay in terms of our health insurance, because we have a medical health insurance with Sagico, 55%, and the members will pay 45%. This is significant. In the past, the government used to pay 50%. They are now paying 55%. But apart from that, there were changes that had to take place with the plan, amendments to increase the schedule of benefits, and we were not getting that traction in terms of cooperation in the past. But now we have a situation, a positive situation, where government say, listen, health insurance is not a luxury, it's basically a need, and we're going to make it affordable for the members. So very soon you'll be hearing us coming to you members, aggressively marketing this very important instrument for your good. So our health insurance will be on the up and up going forward, thanks to this particular agreement. So I think we need a table knock for that also. And I think I should mention it, the last thing. There is a clause in there. Nobody wants to die or prepare for death necessarily, but there is a clause in there that if one dies in service, your beneficiary will be able to get your salary for 1 year. These are important. Family is an important institution, and if something happens to you, you would hope that there's at least a stopgap for a temporary period for your family members to have some, economic space, so to speak. So I think this is a tremendous, and these are just the big ticket items within the package. This is a tremendous package, and I think all parties should be happy.
Right. So, yeah, I'm laughing because that's Brian Grimes, huh? Yeah. So they got all of that from the NDC administration only recently, all of that. And he made mention of them negotiating, fighting, asking the previous government for some of these things. They never got anything really under the NNP administration. Look at what they got. So it comes across as though, I don't know if this guy wants to be relevant, if he wants to be seen on television or social media or heard on the radio. So I don't know what is his plan really, because look at all that you got from this government. But you should have included in the negotiation the cell phones for the mental health workers, and also for them to be designated traveling officers. You should have done that. That should have been a part of the package too. So you see, your negotiating skills and the people who are there on the table They fail these workers. They fail these workers. And to look good now, you're running in the press with the hope that there are people out there who cannot reason, cannot analyze, and they run with this nonsense that you're talking about. This is a friendly government. And not only that, you want a meeting with the Minister of Health, but I thought there are procedures, there are steps. You should meet with the PS. That's who you're supposed to meet with. Even before you go on protest and picket and demonstration, you should meet with her and the senior administrative officer and so on of health, that kind of thing. That's where you should have your meeting. Why should you straight away want a meeting with the Minister of Health? What do you think that is? Huh? What do you think that is? Huh? Why you want to meet with him? Why? You're joking. But before you even get a meeting with him, you go out on the picket line, you're demonstrating. It's a precedence they want to set. Don't fool yourself. A precedence. So anytime they go out on the picket line and demonstrate, then a minister will meet with them. That is what they want. But you would not be able to succeed with that precedence. Meet first, and then if all fails, then you go out. You don't go out and protest and demonstrate and do all those stuff, right? And then you want a meeting with the minister. You're putting the cart before the horse. It's as though these people losing their senses, right? Anybody could simply reason this thing out to say, but wait, you have a friendly government in place. They gave you all of what you said they gave you there. You praise them, and all the unions praise them because they did not get what they got under the NDC administration. They did not get it under the NNP for all the years. They got it just 14 months, 14 months, 15 months, and you want NDC to give you everything? All that you want to demonstrate, what is this? What stupidness is this? But before you go and engage them at the different levels, you just take the guys, the 10 workers or so, and you go on the picket line and you're demonstrating. Come on, these guys, all what they're asking for, don't fool yourself. I am in full accordance, full support of giving these guys all that they're asking for. I know most of them. They deserve it. But don't tell me before you go up the ladder, right, within the Ministry of Health to see how you can resolve all of these things. You're going to just take the workers and go and demonstrate and protest, and then you're calling for the Minister of Health to sit down with you and meet with you. What do you think that is? What do you think that is? So you're putting the cart before the horse and you expect to get somewhere? You're going backwards. That is exactly what is happening. But it is clear. It's a precedence they want to set. They go and protest, and then some government minister has to run to them to sit down and talk. Let's talk first. Let's deal with it first. But you can't just go straight to the minister like that. What do you think that is? Huh? You've got a correspondent from the Ministry of Health telling you that these matters will be resolved. Give them 4 weeks for all these things to be resolved. But no, you're running in the press. You're running out there because maybe you love to be in the spotlight. Maybe you want people to believe that you're actually doing something, or maybe you're just looking for confrontation. Because they're so accustomed to confrontation. They're so accustomed to melee, bacchanal, divisive atmosphere. They're so accustomed to that. Under the NDC, you're not going to get that. The NDC is a pro-worker government. You're not going to get confrontation with the government of Grenada, with the NDC administration. You're not going to get that. They're about fixing things. They're about resolving things amicably. They're not into this bacchanal, melee stupidness. Come on. You just take the workers and go straight on the picket line. You only recently you were praising government for all the things that you negotiated for, all that you all got on. So what you want to do? You want to put something in the head of the government to get all these things now? But I know what they're trying to do, What they're trying to do is to return to the bacchanalish, for want of a better word, melee style governance, right? That is what they're trying to return to, because they have grown accustomed to that. It's like, you accustomed to rice and bakanek. Every time you eat it on a Sunday, rice and bakanek. And your belly full, but you're not being nourished properly. And somebody decided to give you a proper meal, maybe greens, right? They steam some veg, they saute it up and so on. They steam some beet, right? Beet, they slice it up nicely. They do some stew callaloo or steamed callaloo, whatever you want to call it, pumpkin, and they do some grilled fish with some steamed breadfruit on the side, fried breadfruit, or maybe some fried rice, veggie rice, or a little pie, whatever. A little slice of avocado, some lettuce, cucumber, tomato, So they give you that plate. And it just can't go down. It surprises your chest so much that it can't go down. And not only that, you somewhat refusing it. You understand? You're not accustomed to that. You see it as no good. And you then say, well, give me my bakanek and my rice. Because you're so accustomed to the bakanek and rice. That is how these union, well, at least this union president and Hazard or Hazard, Daisy Hazard, I think is her name. Brian Crime or Brian Grimes. I think his name is Brian Grimes. So Brian Grimes, not Brian Crime. Or is Daisy Hazard and not Daisy Hazardous? But it's a disaster. But here it is. Daisy Hazard. So that is how they're acting. That is exactly how they're acting. And they're not getting public support. They're not. Because people are saying, but wait, you just got all of these things. All of these things you got, You're praising the government for it. And tutus, you want melee, you want bacchanal. And over what? Look at what they're asking for. Just little things, Yeah. Things that they could actually go through the PS and look at what they're asking for. Simple stuff. They didn't get it under the NNP, but they want the NDC to do it now. But we are in a budget cycle now, the consultation, all the different things happening. They're engaging you. All the unions are being engaged in the budget consultation process. See how you can get these things in the budget so that they can be made designated traveling officer. There are ways and means to do things. Because you see, if you have a friendly government, like this government, a pro-worker government, and you start acting immaturely, you start being confrontational, you will get less for your workers. This thing is common sense, You will get less for your workers. Come on. So you believe by going out there in the media and make yourself a damn clown or a lunatic, you're going to get somewhere. Big bad Brian Grimes. Ultimately, in the medium to long term, you will get less for your workers because the other unions are pretty happy with this administration and they're not running to the picket line or running to demonstrate and protest. What they're doing, they're going through the whole different, ladder or levels or procedures to resolve things and get things done. Come on. Come on. Let me put a little sense in your head. This government is a pro-worker, a government who loves the workers of the country and wants good for them. So you can work with that government to get stuff for your workers. Things that you have been fighting for under NNP for years. NDC just come in 14 months and they give you everything. Boop, 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 boop. Come on. We have to understand that this thing boils down to building a relationship. You have a friendly government, work with them to resolve problems, to fix problems, and so on. They're open to doing that. Don't come out in the public and give people the impression that this government is so bad and you want everything to be done now? Brian Grimes, stop your damn stupidness. And I leave that right there. Let's move to good news, right? Nurses, health workers, they are receiving some much needed training and opportunities.
The 3-week maternal health care training takes place at the General Hospital, where nurses will be engaged in both theoretical and hands-on training conducted by health experts from the Hunan Children's Hospital in China. Chief Nursing Officer within the Ministry of Health, Nesta Edwards, introduced members of China's healthcare team, stating that she's elated to have the training, the first of its kind in Grenada.
During the next 3 weeks, the participants will be engaged in both theoretical and hands-on training in a number of areas, including identification of critical illnesses in pregnancy, pediatric cardiopulmonary resuscitation, neonatal cardiopulmonary resuscitation, critical illnesses in the neonatal period, caring for the preterm newborn, among others.
Minister for Health, Senator Jonathan Lacrette, conveyed his appreciation and joyfulness in regards to the training program that will be carried out. He believes such programs restore and solidify what should be displayed by local healthcare workers.
We really do appreciate it, and I trust that whatever is going to be learned for the next 3 weeks by our participants, that can be translated into practice in the sector, and practice well.
Since training initiatives form a huge part of the 2024 budget plan, Senator Lacrette trusts that the skills learned by participants will be put into practice, as it will improve the professionalism of the healthcare sector in Grenada. He noted that the training is particularly timely, as there have been calls for improved healthcare services.
We're moving further into the 21st century, and the year 2024 to 2027 has been declared as the years of health sector modernization. And we cannot modernize if we don't train. We cannot modernize if you are not exposed to the current trends and practices in your clinical field. So as a result, I am particularly pleased as the policymaker that this is happening.
Nurses will be trained in identification of critical illnesses in pregnancy, pediatric cardiopulmonary resuscitation, neonatal cardiopulmonary resuscitation, critical illnesses in the neonatal period, and caring for the preterm newborn. For MTV News, Kayla Flavany.
Right. So, and I love that comment by this particular person here. All right. This one here. This comment where Suzette Joseph, she said, Grimes see why the minister, that's the Honorable Jonathan Lacrette, has no time for you, for your meeting. He's busy with important things. I love this one. That's a really good comment here. The minister is busy with important stuff, training, making sure that the nurses get refreshers, get training so that they can do a better job or improve what they're doing, improve on what their skill set is. And I love that. I really love that. That comment was fitting. Trust me on that one. Yeah? I want to see the gala in Florida, the NDC chapter in Florida. That gala is on the 14th. That's tomorrow, you know. I hope all you're ready for it.
As the NDC Florida chapter celebrates its first anniversary on October 14th, I invite you, Grenadians and friends of Grenada in Florida, to come join us at a grand anniversary gala at the elegant Floridian ballrooms in Pembroke Pines, South Florida. I will be there as a special guest of honor and will be pleased to meet, greet, and update all of you on what we are doing in government at home. Contributions to the gala are $200 and it promises to be a memorable event. So get your tickets today, online at gotofed.com or from any member of the National Democratic Congress Florida chapter. Proceeds from the gala will go towards the construction of the party's resource center to the benefit of all Grenadians. So remember, October 14th, NDC Florida chapter inaugural gala in Pembroke Pines, Florida. Don't miss it.
Gala there tomorrow, God's willing. Please go there and support them. And the NDC, let me see, the Deacon Mitchell Support Group in New York, they're having a bingo. So that's in November, all right? November, so I'll talk about that. Right, so October the 14th and October the 28th. I think they said that this one is postponed. Let me make sure. Francis, let me see. Right, so that's postponed. So it's moved to, right, so due to inclement weather, it moved to October the 21st. All right, so I'll talk about that next week. So don't forget, folks, my event is on the 9th of February 2024. All right, the 58th. Cheers to 50 years as the name of the event. Cheers to 50 years. We will be celebrating 50 years of independence on February the 7th, 2024. That's the Wednesday. And my event will be on the Friday at the Radisson Hotel, Krong Ballroom. It will be a cocktail reception and entertainment. So remember that. It starts at 7 and it goes until 12. We will have Solid the Band. I know you're looking forward to that. They will be the main feature at that event in terms of entertainment. We will have DJ Selector Beast, DJ Karim. So DJ Karim, two top DJs here. We will also have Lyndon Langdon, the saxophonist. We'll have him. He will be featured there too. And we will have that tenor pan player, Marco Smith, a young man, really, really good. He will be featured there too. 3 or 4 stand-up poetry, poets doing spoken word poetry. So we'll have about 3 or 4 of them, and many more in terms of entertainment. It will be a really good event, elegantly formal event. It's a special event, very, very special event. The tickets, 200 EC, as the early bird tickets, 200 EC. And a number of people have reached out to me already saying to me they want X and Y among 15 tickets. They have a team of 15 coming down, a team of 10. They want 18 tickets. So a number of people have already reached out to me saying, well, keep 5 for them, keep this amount for them, So I expect that event to be a really, really well-attended event. The capacity of the place is about 500 people. 500 people. So we're going to have a wonderful time. But during the daytime, so the night, that's cocktail. During the daytime, I will have an event at my place because it's not heavy food during the night. I will do about maybe 8 to 10 pots of oil down. So the people who purchase tickets will be able to come and get the oil down. And I will have a bar right here with some light music right here, and maybe have an artist or somebody, a nice, soft day activity at my place. We're going to drink, eat the oil down and so on, socialize. And then during the nighttime, we're going to have a ball of a time at Radisson at the Krong Ballroom. So again, I look forward to that. I'll let you know when the tickets are available online, and the physical tickets, meaning that in person, I'll let you know, right? So have a wonderful weekend. I'll be back with you Sunday, God's willing, Sunday from 1 to 2, starting from 1 in the PM to 2, right? At 1 hour every Sunday. So I'll be back with you. So you'll hear more about that whole event and so on. You're going to get the information. Trust me on that one. All right? Take it care.